Chris, you know we're live, right?
I do know we're live, yeah.
Wait, we're live.
Yes, we're live.
All right. I didn't know if we were live or not. All right,
we're live for the first time in several months. With some changes. So I think one of the reasons you may have been surprised, Carla, is because we're no longer adhering to like a strict schedule. This is sort of a watch on demand. If people are watching right now, that's great. We'd love for you to comment. We'll actually see it in the feed if you were to comment on like Twitter or Facebook. But if you want to watch it later too, it's the content is just as rich. Anyway, Carla, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
Oh man, I mean, I think settling. It's funny because I feel like we never settle. You know, like post Big Bang, it's like let's go. You know, we have leadership. Yeah. We have some of our fellowships that are convening for the last time in person, and so all of that's just been a great ride trying to prep for the fall. And then I feel the excitement with the new school year starting, and so that's I see a lot of folks back in school, and it warms my heart. How have you been?
I think you described how I've been. Like it feels a little bit like a whirlwind. Like I did take a vacation in between Big Bang and today, but it already feels like a distant memory because thank you for queuing this up. We are already preparing for our annual leadership conference, and registration for that opens next week. So if you wanted to learn about the leadership conference, register for the leadership conference, you'll visit bplevents.org. See, it's like the training wheels have come off. I'm already like plugging things and making announcements.
Where's it at? It's in San Diego.
You're right.
Yeah,
I feel like we talk a lot about San Diego with you as a grew up in San Diego.
Yeah.
Let's get to our today's guests.
Yes, let's do it.
We mentioned Big Bang, and if people were viewing the Big Bang live Cup of Joys astutely enough. Our today's guest is actually the second time on this show because he, along with a colleague of his, just he was on Cup of Joy live at Big Bang, and today joined by a fellow advisor from his school. Just so I don't continue stumbling over my words, let me go ahead and cue them.
Yes, welcome.
So, Jim and Michelle from Big Picture South Burlington. Is it Big Picture South Burlington or South Burlington Big Picture?
Big picture comes first.
Of course. Big picture South Burlington. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, Michelle. Can you all start by introducing yourselves to our audience?
Advisor of the year.
So Jim Shields, and I have been an advisor at Big Picture South Burlington. It's a very small Big Picture school. We have 2 advisors, so you're meeting the whole school here. You're meeting the whole school of advisors here, and we have a coordinator as well. And I've been here for this is my 14th year.
Okay.
And I'm Michelle Goldsmith, and I think this is my sixth year maybe. And we work in tandem pretty closely throughout the day. Advisory for us is a little bit different than a lot of Big Picture schools, so we really are always together. Tag teaming.
I wanted to ask because Michelle, you pointed out like there are differences in advisories from school to school, and in some school an advisory will stay with the same students for 4 years and some 2 years, and then there are variations on that. So you both are, Jim, you said 16, I think, and Michelle, you said 6. So are you in the middle of an advisory, or is that just a different structure at South Burlington?
It's kind of just a different structure. So we are a school within a school, which means we're a smaller program. And because it's just the 2 of us, advisory has to shift a lot based on our enrollment year to year. So, we don't necessarily have the same students for 4 years straight, but we do keep the same students in our advisory for as long as they're in the program. And we have 2 rooms. We live in 2 rooms. So being in one of our advisories really means like you start the day on one side of the wall, but there's a lot of movement between the 2 different spaces and 2 advisors.
And we have mixed age advisories. So we have grades 9 through 12, and we've seen advantages. We've done it as kind of the one age level advisory, and it just depends on what our numbers are and what our mix is. But we tend to go more with the mixed age, which we like because you get the benefits of the experienced kids kind of sharing stuff, and it gives a nice community trade-off. We love it though.
Got it. Carla, you have a question?
I'm just so fascinated because my advisory, was, I feel traditional, right? You're in the same group and you kind of just move on. So I'm just so intrigued by the fact that you have mixed ages in an advisory. I feel like I would have benefited from that. I wonder, are there any shifts that you're going in with this new school year as advisors that you're excited about, that you're implementing?
Shifts. That's an excellent question. I feel like there's never not shifts. So, that's the one. Chris was saying, what advice would you give people? I just don't expect anything to be like the year before. So, or like when you invite one person onto your show, expect them to show up with two. Like, just don't be ready for the thing you expect not to work out that way. So in terms of shifts, are we doing anything new this year? A little bit is like the whole back to leaving to learn. Everyone's talking about how COVID, we're trying to get back to normal, whatever normal is for us. And one thing that we're really looking forward to is getting out of the building a lot more. So, today we're going to a high ropes course to do some team building at the start of the year with both advisories. We're going camping next week. We have students already out. We had a student who did an internship interview yesterday at Beta Technologies, which is this really cool electric aviation. Yeah, they're building electric airplanes, vertical takeoff and landing airplanes in Burlington. So we have this 10th grade girl who's doing an internship there as a aviation mechanic. So already the kids are getting out. And so that feels it is a shift, but it's a shift back to what we want to be doing.
Well, good energy behind it as well. We also, because we're so small and because we live in a broader school, we are bound a little bit to what's happening outside of our space. So that always leads to curriculum shifts for us too. So we have kids take classes in the broader school. So part of their day can be big picture, part of their day can be classes. So we're always sort of adapting based on the schedule beyond our walls. Yeah. And this year, that means, we're offering some of our different experiences at different points in the year to support kind of a balanced course load and a manageable teaching load for us.
I would say that a lot of times when we see programs that are like school within a school, painting with broad strokes, sometimes big picture is that kind of weird thing that happens down Hall C, right? But by all observation, you all get a lot of support from the rest of the school community. It seems like it's really well integrated. Would you say that's an accurate reflection of what I can see from like 2,000 yards away?
I would say that we get a lot of support from the administration. I think the teachers, more or less, it's kind of hard. Sometimes it's hard for them to understand what we do. Yeah. So I think there's a little bit that gets lost in translation, but I would say overall, like the spirit of support is there. And sometimes in our people's day to day, it doesn't show up. So it's difficult. I mean, it's such a different thing. And I always think like, I really wish I was in I think it'd be great for our students to just be in a big picture school that was all dedicated to that. And then sometimes it's easy to take that for granted. So sometimes I think, wow, it's really good that we're side by side with conventional high schools, so we can really be reminded every day of some of the shortcomings and some of the shortcomings of that and benefits of big picture. So I think sometimes I have to appreciate seeing the contrast so starkly placed in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And the pandemic had a kind of interesting impact for us. I think at the beginning, we had a lot of kids when we went to full remote learning and schools sort of shut down. We had a lot of interest in big picture of like, if I'm going to be at home, I'd rather be at home doing projects and doing things I'm excited about that appeal to me. So that sort of boosted us. But then our ability to get the word out about big picture, sort of long term, as we started coming back, was hard because we just couldn't go visit places and get into classrooms as much to spread the word. So now we're sort of in this, like, we got to come back out of that and get folks back on board.
Yeah, we got to get there. It's the recruiting slump that comes with like missed communication for a year.
So I have like a wrap up question, and it's kind of a two-parter. Michelle, you queued up that Jim was named our advisor of the year. Jim, I kind of teased this question for you, but I'm going to put a spin on it. Jim, what advice would you give to someone who's been doing this for 6 years? And Michelle, what advice would you give to somebody who's doing this for the very first time?
Oh, that's a nice spin. It's interesting. I didn't think of this at the time. I think a lot of intuition comes with being an advisor. I know that's kind of a dirty word in our data-driven stuff, data-driven education movement here these days, but a lot of it is, as an advisor, intuition and in relationships. I invited Michelle to join me because one of the things when we say like advisor of the year is it's kind of an interesting term to me, because everything we do is so much different than every other advisor that it's so hard to quantify that. So, but I think I just kind of got a little symbolism here. Is I brought Michelle along because one of the biggest things that we say in Big Picture is independent does not mean alone. So the advice I would give to new advisors is just like we encourage the students to make the best of their resources to learn the things that they want to learn. It might not be your advisor who's teaching you everything. Usually in my case, it's not. That you want to harness the power of your colleagues, harness find those resources that will help you. And we are a community. The advisor does not have to feel like this individual on an island with their advisory. So that's what I would say. How about Michelle?
I guess for me, the thing that was maybe the biggest transition for me when I came in as a brand new advisor was letting go of what I understood school to be. And I am somebody who is a planner. I like to know what's going to happen. I like to have some control about what's going to happen. So that was a big shift, especially working with Jim, who is very flexible.
Thank you.
The big shift of just, being able to roll with what is sparking joy and interest and passion for me and for my students, and letting that be school, letting that be okay as what school is. So letting go a little bit of really rigid planning and leaning into adaptability and spontaneity to follow the interesting learning that's happening around us.
Love that.
Great.
Thanks.
Carla, anything final?
No, I just keep thinking about your plans for team building, and I just can't get over the fact that you're going to go camping with your advisories like that. I'm like, what? But I also feel like in Burlington, y'all are outside of law. Like, I feel like I see a lot of images of y'all with your students outside, and I think that's so beautiful to have. So I just want to say that I wish you a lot of, I don't want to say luck, but I'm sending you lots of love at the beginning of the school year, because I feel it from you that you're ready to pour into our young people. So I'm sending it back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's awesome to be here. Thanks.
Well, we wanted to thank you for being our first guests back to, we're going to call this, I think we're in season 4 already of the Cup of Joy Cafe. So thanks for being with us. And thanks in advance, Jim, for sending me one of those shirts. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you send me an email, get some sizes, and these were last plug. These were made by a student at a screen printing shop where she designed the whole thing and then brought it to a screen printer and worked with them and made it. So
I love it.
Hands-on learning.
All right. Well, we're going to dismiss you now. Really appreciate your time. Have a great school day and a great school year. Appreciate you both. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Michelle.
So much.
Thanks.
Bye, y'all.
All right, Carla, we're back.
What's up? We're back. I know. I'm like, all right, woof, we got it. I'm so inspired.
I know, right?
I go back to schools.
Maybe we should. I mean, one of the other things that sort of got curtailed with the COVID is like, I haven't made nearly as many school visits, so might have to make a trip up to Burlington in the fall.
When it's pretty.
I'm sure no one goes up to Burlington in the fall, so I'll be the only one. I wanted to say, Carla, that again, because of the flexible schedule of Cup of Joy, we actually have another one tomorrow. We're going to talk to Brenda Diaz, who's the principal of Nashville Big Picture High School, who's also one of our awardees of the year. She's our school leader of the year. So we're really excited about that.
I'm excited to talk to her.
Any final words?
You know how we close out. You make it a great day or not, honestly. Yeah, right? Am I closing?
You're closing.
Okay. Make it a great day or not, y'all. The choice is yours.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.